The spring split in the European region has gotten out to a quite exciting start, Dazarin. Vitality and Solary, two teams that barely anybody had going this deep in the tournament, now vying for that top 3 spot.
Yeah, Solary, again, one of these teams that are like I'd say was a sleeper pick for a lot of people, now coming through and saying, hey, we deserve to be, and maybe in the top spots, maybe in a major conversation. And of course, a lot of people didn't really have too high of hopes here for Vitality with Radosin, but they're looking really solid right now, and both teams have made their way to this stage, trying to see just how far their rosters can go.
And of course, you got to talk about the Dutchman, Solary, just forming before this split started. And I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better performance. Even if they end up falling here, everyone's going to be talking about this team in the region and looking at them and what are they going to do next. Their journey's not quite over, and they might have more in the tank. Oli starts the scoring.
And we've seen Oli pop off so far in this regional event, and you give him a free look like that, oh yeah, he's going to start that every time. He's forcing the defense to make a little bit of an error because they know Oli's going to hit that double. Solary with the first goal.
Trying to grab the kickoff. A lot of 50s there for Solary. Tho ends up winning it. And Alpha just getting in front, trying to delay Mike Boy's approach. You saw Mike Boy had some trouble handling that ball. Vitality get the clear. Another 50 for Tho. We know how deadly he is with 50s, especially in the attacking third. How many goals did he score yesterday that were just off of 50-50s right next to the box? He's got to be on the lookout for him. You heard Gregan mention him being one of his favorites. Kind of understand why with how he's performed so far.
Yeah, exactly. This Solary team it feels like a well-oiled machine at times, the way that they've been so efficient down in the offensive front. They are not afraid to take Vitality and push the defense to the limits. And we've been seeing that right now. I mean, look, here's that offensive pressure. They did the same thing yesterday when we saw them in the lower bracket, and it's just kind of where they continue to keep on and looking for holes on defensive sides. Is Mike Boy also slowing down the offense with that demo arcade out.
Vitality finally getting set up. Alpha, patient, waiting for Tho to carry that ball out. Got a more favorable 50. Vitality are getting stuffed in the corners. And Radosin's forced back to the midfield line. Mike Boy going to take advantage. Kata quickly up for the save. See Oli trying to cut off that other option as well, but Tho's going to take it in the middle of the field. Solary doing a good job preventing Vitality from staying in the blue half for too long. And before the shot could come, Tho gets the clear. Still spending some time in the blue half. Radosin trying to prevent the counterattack. Stuffed again here by Alpha.
This is really good, though, for Vitality. The counterattack was primed and ready to go. Everybody on Solary had boost out in front, but it did end up being snuffed out, and Vitality got enough time to try to regain, pick up some boost, and now continue to push things forward. They're battling for this midfield right now.
They had held it for a little while. You see how many players screening across. It was almost 4 at one point before they finally rotate back. Oli able to slip underneath one defender. Starting to whittle down this Vitality defense. Maybe they get another one here with Tho. Goes underneath on the 50. Close against the box. Mike Boy wins another touch. Oli's in the air, and it's saved. While Pinched gets right by Tho. He's going to get there first, but has to delicately carry that ball out. He actually slammed it up, and Alpha can't put that one on target. He gets deleted.
Yeah, and that's a big point. It's Mike Boy right now. Is he going to slot that? He is. Lower left corner. Mike Boy picks up another for Solary.
What you were just saying about Mike Boy.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Boy, again, being able to cut through the defense like that, and he's really been a big proponent in terms of, like, getting involved in the midfield, getting some of those cutout plays like we saw just now, and that individual effort. I mean, Vitality right now have looked really slow on offense. Only a shot this game. They've been putting on their own end, and you got to look at players like Mike Boy who've been able to kind of cut things out in the field and just kind of disrupt this. So for Vitality, they've just been playing more of a defensive style game right now. They're sitting at 7 saves and only 1 shot. They have not been able to create anything moving forward, and they really need to.
Radosin just tried, but got ahead of his air dribble. Wasn't even able to get a bump out of it. Solary just got the clear, and Vitality were forced back. Now Oli wins the midfield challenge. Vitality are able to stabilize, but they just can't get control of the ball. It's the Oli wanted to jump up for that. Used all of his boost. Got the back pass over to the Tho. Solary still keeping possession. Kate up in the air for this. takes it back over to the corner. Mike Boy expecting a touch there from Radosa, and he didn't get one. Now the full team in retreat. Oli comes in to bail Tho and Mike Boy out. In the air by himself, can't get power on his touch. Radosa will take control.
And you're expecting Radosa and Alpha to create. Finally, you see Radosa with that drop down, but this is usually how the plays have been working for Vitality. Someone passes mid, the follow-up is either late or the initial touch is to a Solary defender. So they can't really do much with it. And now you got to start looking at the clock because Vitality running out of time in game one.
I mean, in addition to that, Solary's form on defense, patient where they need to be, aggressive when they need to be, picking all the right options when they do face those threats from Vitality. They've got their beat, and they're marching to it. Oli gets another goal in game one.
There's a start. Look at this, though. I mean, that's such a smart pop-up as well, and Oli with the low shot. He sees two people on the back wall, knows where his options are. Very good shot there. They make the Vitality defense look a little silly.
That goal explosion gets me every time. Just chop, 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 chop. Like, take all your cars out.
I was scared.
Really wonder what's the nutritional benefit for that Nom Nom goal? Like, what does he get when he eats like a Rocket League chassis? Like, you get a little bit of iron, right? Some steel, maybe some. I guess you get some like good CO2, right?
Some oil,
gasoline. Well, what's the boost made out of?
I don't know if we got enough time to figure out what the boost is made out of.
Folks at home, try to figure out what the boost is made out of.
I know what the boost is made out of.
Yeah, hashtag RLCS.
It's made out of copium.
It's made out of copium. Solary take game one, and Vitality just couldn't get a lot going there, Daz. You were talking about their lack of offense, and it was a lack. Only 4 shots on net. Solary just had complete control of the game, and Vitality really weren't able to do anything on offense, despite being able to hold the midfield line at times.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when we look at Vitality in the midfield, again, I think they did a solid job of at least trying to like fight for possession, so to speak, in that area. But a lot of their drives just came up super empty. And Solary, like I said, Mike Boy especially doing a really good job of getting a lot of cutout plays. And when we saw Solary again on the offensive front, I think I had pointed out like Vitality had 7 saves. Oli himself had 7 shots. Like, just alone. And he like wasn't the only person like getting involved like in the scoring here. You got to think like Solary's offensive pressure is something that over the series Vitality is going to need to adjust to, and that's going to be the biggest question for this team, because we've seen them have a very defensive Dacia Spring Cup so far, but can they get on that offensive front when it's absolutely necessary?
Let's see if they can get some better sequences on offense. Alpha almost got a shot, but immediately denied by Oli off the kickoff. Winning these tough touches, it's the one thing about Solary that's always going to be difficult, is that neutral game. They've executed it perfectly all weekend. Mike Boy just launching that ball downfield. And this team is a real threat too, Daz. You think back yesterday to their series against Moist, that game 7 really could have gone either way. So some fans out there might be thinking, can this team take on BDS if they end up winning? Absolutely, with the way that they've looked so far. But a long series to be played. Vitality still trying to get some consistent possession here, and Alpha gets demoed.
Get the demo coming out, sets up a lane. Mike Boy with the speed. That's a free ball. And look at Tho. Just tries for a shot, and he actually gets the entire Vitality defense to commit with just a shot straight in the middle of the net. Again, kind of showing Vitality. They've just been kind of stuck right now, and they haven't really been able to set comfortable on defensive drives or on offense. Oh, he rings that into the top right.
That was a nice shot from Alpha. Set up nicely here for K-Dop. It's easy when you can just lob it to him, and no boost either on that shot. Well placed. I wish I could know the actual power going into the net, because we only got the read off the crossbar. But a nice shot nonetheless, and all that offensive talk. I mean, out of 19 games played in this tournament, Vitality have only outshot their opponents in 6 of those games. So this isn't the only series that they've felt those offensive struggles.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they're kind of used to this at this point. But if they're able to get out and break into these counterattack strides like what we're used to seeing from them this event, then I think that could speak for a lot of how, one, they've gotten so far, and two, just kind of what their new sort of style of play is. Just letting teams get that pressure, because when they get those breakout plays, it lets players like Alpha and Radosin really shine. And maybe even K-Dot, where you see K-Dot kind of line up and get some of those clutch goals.
Ooh, K-Dot having to contend with traffic. Oli almost barreling into him. And having to fight for possession in this corner. They just can't get away from Tho. Alpha has to dive for that save, but they fight for so long just to get possession in the corner, only to give it up after Tho wins 3 challenges in a row, and then Oli gets a shot on net. Here, Vitality are still looking for a way out, and Oli stops him on the midfield line. Tho right behind him. Can K-Dot find a read here? Tho takes it away, and the 50 won't happen. Alpha able to sneak that ball away from him. Vitality just don't have those quick follow-ups. They need those quick battles in the corner that K-Dot just won. And again, Oli just a little bit faster.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet though for Solary so far. Like, even though they've been able to get the ball out in front and get some simple shots on, Vitality seem to kind of be dictating the pace. It's a close save there from Tho. He has a backflip in front of his net. But Vitality still on top of this ball. You see Alpha trying to go for a flip reset, and My Boy cuts him out. But Radosin's there to, again, keep this one in play for the time being.
K-Dot, back pass over to Alpha. And Tho's going to take the ball away again. Here he comes midfield. Back over to Mike Boy. Squares up on the 50 once. Scoops over another defender. Rotation back. Vitality trying to make the wall as big as possible. And Solary, I think they're stacking a wall as well in the corner. Tho losing the 50. Oli is probably going to be another 50. Oh no, he just gets the touch. And Tho has to wait as K-Dot is right there. Low boost. Tho gets underneath him. Very tight, but a very methodical push. There's a shot just off the bar. Rebound. Saved by K-Dot. Takes it back around to the corner, and Radosin can get the clear, but they still can't get beyond the midfield line. Here comes Tho. Back into Oli. Hit ball in front of the net. Stays out. Vitality retain the lead.
That was close. You saw that Oli hit that into Tho, throwing it back into Oli. It looked like it was going to be a really solid play out, but the defense from Vitality is just blocking all types of options. You talk about them or being in the defensive front for so long, but when they have a lead like this and you're forced to score on them, you know, that's really where it starts to shine. But Oli finds a hole in the lower right corner to tie us all up.
Oh, and you see this hole open up because you see Alpha rotating back. He goes up the wall, and then it was K-Dot who was coming inside the net. He saw Alpha going up the wall thinking that challenge was going to happen, and he was going to have time to get turned around, but the ball skipped out off of Tho's car, off the back wall, in a perfect spot for Oli to shoot it, and nobody was ready inside the net. It left it open, and they've just got another off the kickoff. Solary, you're stealing the game from Vitality.
There it is. This is really solid. Alpha doesn't get a piece of the ball, so all Oli has to do is remove K-Dot from the situation. Great 50-50s lead to open nets, and it's a 1-goal lead in the final minute.
And all of a sudden, those chances that you thought about a little earlier for Vitality when they were able to set up shop in the blue half, where are those quality opportunities? And they have 6 shots on net. There's their 7th. Alpha's just trying to protect the back end as Mike Boy pushes forward. Flick denied. And Tho gets in front of another 50. Prevents the clear from Alpha. You see Radosin and K-Dot were both forward. They have to come back quickly, and K-Dot does so in time. He's got 30 seconds underneath. Didn't get a good handle on the ball. Oli gets another clear.
Oh, and a shot too. Rings it. Looking for, again, that power into the top right. But defense from Vitality's there. As Vitality need to make some magic happen here. Final 15 seconds as Alpha takes that one up. Looking again to see if they can create opportunity. Ooh. And he does! Alpha 54 lights it up for Vitality.
When you need the splash play, Alpha brings the tide off the ceiling. Perfect off the nose of his car. Nobody was saving that ball. What a shot from Alpha.
So well played from Alpha and Vitality. K-Dot was in the back for an assist, and Radosin was in front looking for demos, and they're not done yet. Final few seconds. They're trying to get one more for OT. Tho will clear that out. Can Radosin pop this mid? I don't think so. And Alpha a little low on boost. I think they're going to let this fall. It will. Overtime in game 2.
Boy, Alpha was just sitting on that midfield boost hoping it would spawn if that ball did come mid. It never did. And now we're in overtime. Aquadome. Mike Boy trying to force that ball out. Radosin gets 2 50s. Rodoson's challenge game has been pretty good all weekend, but you got 3 challenge monsters on this team right now as Mike Boy pushes the ball across.
Yeah, Rodoson and Alpha. I remember we were watching yesterday with Wave, and Wave just kept pointing out in game 1 how Alpha didn't lose a 50. He was like, he only lost 150 every time he was going, but he was making a lot of challenges. So the fact that, you know, you have that in your back pocket for Vitality is a really solid play. Here's a pass mid. We'll get it! It's a bouncer, but it'll do! And Vitality will walk away with game 2.
It's scrappy, it's not pretty, but it gets the job done. Alpha pops it right over to K-Dop, who slips it on the backside of Mike Boy. He can't make the stop. And Vitality tie up the series when it looked like Solary were going to take it from him. Solary, that was their 11th overtime in this tournament out of the 23 games that they've played. They've been here a lot. This time, Vitality get the better of them.
And that's really well done, I'd say, from Vitality, because, again, you can kind of tell that even though Solary, again, are out shooting Vitality, it just didn't feel the same as game 1. It felt like a lot of their offensive drives went in pretty early, and on top of that, it just didn't seem like they had that consistent pressure that, like, we're used to seeing from them. I mean, for me, Vitality, again, came alive towards the end. We were talking about how well is their offense going to do, and it was looking a little shaky at first, but Alpha 54, man, he's really good.
He's the offense. He's the, like, I think Direct pointed out a stat to me, which was, you know, they've been getting outshot all tournament, but they've actually won a few games that they got outshot in. And I'm pretty sure that if you looked at the 2 goals that they scored in the series they got outshot in, it was probably Alpha scoring both of those goals. I mean, this man is absolutely insane.
Yeah, whether it's shooting or creating chances for his teammates. You have to put a lot of respect there on Alpha. As that pass dropped down, that was a very creative play on the side of Solary. Looking at where this series is at right now, Jorby, we're tied up in game 3. And both teams want a chance to take on Moist Esports in that lower final, especially, I say, Solary. Remember, last time they played earlier in this tournament, it went 7 games with a 6-minute overtime in game 7. Solary definitely want to run that back, but they got to get there first.
Oh, Mike Boy set that up above the bar, and it's taken away by Vitality. You're absolutely right about the potential of the rematch between Solary and Moist. Vitality trying to fight back to get there, to play Moist themselves, as though pushes that ball off. He might be in the makings of a long one, only diving in front, but Alpha's going to avoid him. Vitality are able to move the needle back to the blue half. Can they actually get set up? Off the ceiling, Mike Boy diving in front of that one, Tho low on boost. He's going to rely on pads as Oli takes the 50. Close to the corner, allows Tho to get in. Again, he was working on pads, so that's all he's got. K-Dop drops it back down for Alpha, who doesn't get he didn't really get a touch at all on the ball. He's maybe expecting Oli to hit it back into him with his approach, but Solary get the ball back.
I like that from K-Dop, though, because K-Dop had a really good chance to put a shot on or even to play it high. Chooses to kind of share that and drop the ball low and have Alpha take that shot. Good try on the awareness there for K-Dop. Was able to get the pass out, but Alpha was just a little too late as he is pre-jumping for the ball, completely not making contact. Counterattack chance here for Solary. Only top left slot to give Solary the lead.
This man breaks open the offense for Solary so many times. Easy little pop here. K-Dop has to respect Oli's approach. He has to respond, and Oli, it was one touch and one powerful shot to get the job done.
And you can see how that play even developed. As soon as Alpha pre-jumps and doesn't hit the ball, removes himself from the play, Solary say, okay, let's go. We're moving upfield. And K-Dop pre-jumped the save. And even with the pre-jump, Oli's like, I'm still shooting this top left corner. I don't care. You need to either hit the ball or not, because that's going in your net. I love how Solary tests defenses of even some of the best teams.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Alpha's kind of nuts. Rodoson gonna slip that one across and actually split the defense. Rodoson drives through the defense and gets the goal for Vitality.
Oh, he's cutting them up. This quick turn into the shot. Oli was trying to respect him, trying to get around, but just not enough time there. And it's a really quick response from Team Vitality.
The 50 here off the kickoff. Hard hit from Alpha. Oli has to get up recovers and makes the challenge. Radosin backflips, and Mike Boy is going to get to it. Looked like Radosin might have been in the advanced position there, but that backflip took him out of the play.
Yeah, backflip did kind of slow things down. Alpha had a good 50 down in front, but now they start to work the other way. I'm loving what I'm seeing, though, from Vitality here. Again, they've gotten out of their own end as Radosin trying to wrap around it, but just off the post, Mike Boy's there in time. They get more pressure as Vitality still try to come out on top of this game, but the way it's looking, Solary seem to be in trouble. I just feel like there's so much freedom given this Team Vitality squad, where if they have the ball in air, if Alpha does start to connect with some of these plays he's trying to make, it could just only spell doom for the Solary defense.
He's downfield right now. Does get in the way of Tho. K-Dop coming in quick. Radosin's third man. He's only got 23, but he's staying right in the rotation. And Oli tried to grab that pass. Radosin ends up winning it. And Alpha able to push through the midfield line. Radosin has the shot, but he can't put enough power behind it. Alpha trying to prevent the transition, and he gets deleted for his efforts. Radosin, or K-Dop, excuse me, putting that ball right back to midfield, and Solary get out.
Oh, there's Tho looking for the low touch. He wanted to get an awkward ball for his teammates to follow it up for him, but Alpha with a good save and Vitality. Great in terms of just clearing things out as quickly as possible without too much danger.
Nothing here really developing for Solary. Radosin gets the safe clear, forces Oli up to the back wall, gets a demo as well, 2 demos in a response to the one from Radosin. K-Dop forces the 50 out. Radosin couldn't put it on target. He had to react quickly. He didn't have any boost either. He made the most of it happen. Radosin grabbing it from the third, and Oli steals it away from him. Vitality getting a lot of these challenges in the midfield. They've held on to the ball, but they need that game-leading goal. Mike Boy diving back to keep the ball out, though also preventing Alpha from keeping the play alive, and Vitality got to try again from their own corner.
Now the question is, who's in the play here? As the game starts to speed up between these two teams, it's about who's getting involved and who's going to make that mistake, whether it's someone getting demoed or someone just making the wrong touch or a whiff here, so to speak. As long as the rotations are clean, we're going to stay here as a stalemate. But once that breakdown happens, someone's going to jump on top of it. As Alpha tries to do it all by himself, it pinches out. Radosin follow should be an easy save, and it is. Clock ticking down in game 3, and that clears. It gonna hit the ground? No, not yet. It well off the pinch. And we got an OT again.
Solary's 12th overtime. Now out of 24 games. And how's it gotta feel when half of your games go to OT? One word: stressful. Oh, Tho's completely missed the ball. Alpha sets it up. K-Dop was waiting, but he didn't have the best angle just to jump. He knew Tho was in the area. K-Dop's there! Goal! Vitality take the lead in the set.
Look at K-Dop. Has the read off this play. Vitality. You see Alpha pop that off the ceiling straight to K-Dop. He just has to make contact, hit it down on the ground. Solary defense panics, but Team Vitality is locked in as they take the lead in the series.
Really flipped from what we saw in Solary in the last game. And Solary are going to take a tactical timeout here, as Vitality have taken a 1-game lead in the series to try to stop this momentum. That's now 2 straight games for Vitality. That midfield game that was so strong, Daz, for Solary in the first game and even the second half of game 2, they just haven't been able to find that same form. You see only 5 shots on net from Solary, and they got outboxed completely with the 11 from Vitality.
Yeah, so now again, timeout after game 3 loss. Again, Vitality are only up 1 game here in the series. So JG must have noticed something here to call out for this one.
What about you? What are you thinking for Solary? Like, what's the main thing like preventing them from like holding this midfield line? Alpha's been a big factor here, but what's the adjustment?
Well, that's the thing. It's like K-Dop's has some really good cuts out for the defense, like defensive end of things, and Alpha Radosin have been really solid in terms of getting that ball upfield. Like they can get through Solary really easily, and that might be the problem here, because for Solary, if they can't necessarily continue, remember, look at game 1, that offensive pressure, that was where they looked their peak so far in this series. It's been slowly dwindling as things continue. And 2 back-to-back losses where Vitality may think that, hey, we have this team kind of figured out now. We know they like to pressure us down in front. Let's try to play our own game. Instead of waiting in net and playing counterattacks, it seems like they've started to match their speed and even get as aggressive as they've been. Because if you look at the last couple of goals scored, a lot of it was someone from Vitality just being up front, being in the box and waiting for an opportunity to be created. So I think for Solary, it's just, you got to stop that and cut that part out in the midfield. I mean, when they have space, just like you see from this shot from Oli, beautiful placement. But again, even this play like Radosin, he gets it, he picks it up, and just slides it right through the defense. It's almost as if they're not expecting Vitality to play offense sometimes.
I mean, like they just don't have like that. Like they have struggles when they start losing the neutral game. They don't seem to be able to break out. And Oli specifically is the type of player that should be able to break out, right? You look at Vitality, and you've got Alpha 54 on that end of the field. If you get lost in the sauce and you can't win in the neutral game, well, Alpha's got the mechanics to be able to pop off and break through an offense for you. Oli's got to be that guy for Solary. He's the most mechanical on this team, and he can certainly get it done. I feel like if they start getting lost in that neutral game again, I mean, you can't rely on only 50s if the 50s stop working. You got to start switching it up and give Vitality a different look to commit for the first save of game 4. Excuse me.
Again, forcing those double commits is we've seen really well done. Look at that. K-Dot found Radosin as he was falling for that. Push that in. And now midfield game coming. But of course, we've seen a lot of plays like this from Vitality as well. Radosin trying to do it all. Sets up Alpha, but Mike Boy has the read. Would have been a beautiful play from Vitality, but Solary not having it.
Big clear from Mike Boy as well. Forced Radosin over to the side. And how about that save from Mike Boy? Seeing Alpha, knowing he has to jump up early for that, and just put himself right where he thinks the shot's going. Can never be a comfortable position to be as a defender. And they're playing more defense. It's not a good ball that skips out. Tho stays in front of it, and he wins a big 50 for Solary. But again, they're losing those midfield boosts. They're constantly being pushed back to their wall. Those hard touches, Oli has to do this to buy time for the rest of his team to get back, and they haven't even gotten control. Tho got the catch, and it's the follow-up that's going to be most important here for Solary.
Follow-ups is good, but keep an eye out on Radosin. Radosin has been big prime factor. Most of these clips from Vitality, as that was a great follow-up there from Alpha. He got the initial pass from K-Dot, pushed that one on target, but Radosin's been playing upfield, even with low boost, just to get the pressure on Solary. Follow-up shot blocked out again as Stowe picks up his 3rd save. We've already gotten 5 saves from Solary within the first 2 minutes. It's been all Vitality as they are just being creative in offense, and Alpha put it on target. Is it going to be saved? It will finally get cleared out, but only for a moment.
Every time Vitality go back to the midfield line, it's not retreat, it's reload. Radosin gets this one set up, though, puts it back over to the corner, but they're running out of resources. Shot denied again by Mike Boy. How does he get in the air for that one? And Alpha collects the boost, lets Tho fall on top of him, and K-Dop's going to collect his and not get the touch. Vitality now having struggles hitting the ball. They finally get the ball back to the midfield line. Mike Boy going to punch it right back downfield.
Halfway through this game, still scoreless, even though Vitality have had a lot of the offensive strides. Always looking for someone mid, but Mike Boy too far away to commit there as Solary are starting to pace their game out. And we've seen Vitality really have some close chances here. Oli, that's a beautiful flip reset, but straight to Radosin.
How do you can't plan for that as a defender. Like, you catch it at that speed, and then you immediately get the reset, and you can keep pushing after that. Like, that change in momentum can really catch you off guard. You didn't have a lot of boost in that play. Still, just those kind of little mechanics always get me. This one just grabbed by Radosin, high in front of the box. And you're starting to feel the pressure from Solary.
Now Solary let that one get away from him. And was that a mistake to play this one back from their own end and give up some room? No, Vitality actually share that. Say, sure, you can give it right back to us. As again, both teams kind of looking for a way in. It's been, you can definitely see though, the drastic playstyle change as the series continues on. Tactical timeout from Solary. They've been much more defensive here. Only 2 shots, and both of them coming from Oli. As he's up in the air looking for his 3rd.
Oli
does find it. The double goes straight to Tho, but it's a little awkward, so we'll have to try to keep it in.
Oli has gotten close. He has tried to get mechanical in front. That's the ever ending, or never ending, if you will. Never ending? How does he just get this over the Vitality defenders? Solary score.
The play over one, that touch to get it past Alpha.
Oh.
Use the last of his boost to get a flip reset past K-Dop. 1, 2, 3 for Oli. I mean, when you have a player who can create like that, it's no wonder he's got the only shots in the game. And he picks up the first goal in game 4.
That's the breakout potential I was talking about. You got to be able to match Alpha 54 on the other end. If they start beating you in the challenge game and they start playing quicker than you, it takes a player like Oli to be able to break through that rhythm. Otherwise, you'll just get lost in the sound. And Oli finally breaking open the scoring for Solary. But there's 40 seconds left for Vitality. They've looked on form so far in game number 4.
They have. For Solary, this can start to build a little bit of momentum forward from them. What they've got right now is working, and Vitality now have to force the issue with only 20 seconds remaining in the game.
Alpha keeping this one close. Radosin also preventing a challenge from coming in. Mike Boy getting chipped on the midfield line. Solary starting to lose these touches. Oli stays underneath. Alpha diving forward for possession at the end of the game. Though, letting that one drop down, knowing time is on his side. Wins 2 challenges against attackers. Now only against K-Dop. Uses all that time to his advantage. Now Vitality got to do it in the air. Oli puts it on the ramp. Right over. Radosin's downfield, but they combine, and Solary tied the series.
Well played from Solary this game. They led Vitality in their front half, tried to pick apart, okay, where do they look more weakest at? And with Oli here, and that's a standout performance. Being the only person not only to score on your team, but in the game, with a beautiful solo play that gets past all 3 defenders. I mean, it's no wonder they're here in this position. Now, again, you got to think, this one was still a stalemate in terms of team side. No one necessarily got through, even with some of these plays we're seeing there from Alpha 54, so close on a lot of their drives. The mechanics have been shown on both sides of the field. It's just that Solary's was just a little bit more efficient.
I mean, Mike Boy jumped up for 2 saves in high pressure situations where you saw Solary, they were in the middle of rotations on defense. At one point, all 3 players were in the box. One was turned around. Mike Boy's the only guy in the air. Nobody's going to be able to follow anything up. That just has to be a save and a clear into space away from Vitality's rotation. But they made it happen. And now heading to Wasteland, both teams in position to take this to match point. Solary, the tactical timeout, continues to deliver for teams. As long as you don't call it when you're down 3-0. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not going to work.
Mike Boy forcing the 50 back over to Tho, who pulls off non-challenge. Now let's Oli come in. Oli coming up on the next 50. Tho, shot denied before it can happen. And Vitality able to push this ball to the corner. Can they actually flush it out? Nobody touches this ball. And Mike Boy says, thanks for the free touch to the corner. K-Dop has to work for his food. Solary staying here on offense.
Oh, solid there from Mike Boy. Good play around it. Solary is, again, we're seeing them get a little bit more comfortable here in the starting minute. Lots of pressure coming out from them. Not too many shots, but you don't really need that. They're just, again, looking to see, okay, how does the Vitality's defense handle this when, you know, we try to switch it up a little bit. And so far, so good. But definitely still a stalemate. Very testing on both sides.
I mean, you see the follow-up man for Vitality on that last push. Not even close to it with how much time they spent in this first minute on the orange half. Just didn't have enough resources to really start building that pressure gauge against Solary. Just to push the pin on the tactical timeout effectiveness a little bit more. Teams have a 75% win rate after a tactical timeout. It is brutally effective. K-Dop, that's an insane stat.
It is.
Trying to push that ball out.
We've seen that happen. Sometimes teams just need to figure things out. Turn and almost. Only follow up. That's in. Solary. The pressure pays off.
Mike Boy weaving around like a wasp. He's the most annoying player on the pitch right now. Takes away the option, harasses the defense, then gets in front of the challenge, makes the clear impossible. It has to be a save in front, and it opened it wide for Oli to score. Solary starting with force here on Wasteland. And Vitality just constantly going laterally. Nothing going yet. Only 1 shot on net in the first 2 minutes. Though forcing the 50 out. Vitality need a change up here. Alpha around the corner. You know he can be that But Tho's going to take the ball away. Still a chance to keep building the pressure gauge for Solary. K-Dop does so here. Next follow-up coming in. Radosin waited off the wall. Alpha's there, taken away. Only in the air a little early for that ball. Got the save. Radosin pushes it back. And Solary starting to go low on boost. Light Boy protects his corner. Ooh. Almost got the benefactor of a whiff, but only just got caught out. And a bit unorthodox here from Vitality. A tactical whiff or two gives him the goal.
Yeah, you see the whiff from K-Dop. Alpha's able to play it, and K-Dop says, okay, I meant to hit this one. As he puts that one on target, and Oli a little bit uncomfortable. Very good start here for Vitality to get back on the board.
Solary expecting the other team to hit the ball. And that can be the power when you've been consistent in hitting it. Oh, that's a nice setup, but taken away again. These are decent shots, too, from Solary. Oli tried to slip underneath on the 50, and a good pull-off by Mike Boy. Again, a challenge game. Really working well for Mike Boy in the series.
Yeah, he's been super efficient, except that one. He technically even wins that one there. It was a little awkward, but he got it towards, though. Need challenges like that, especially when you've seen Vitality. They're really adaptable in terms of just playing off of randomness, but not that much randomness when it's in front of your box. Oh, he picks up a second one for Solary.
He has a bottomless stomach. Feed this man and he will eat. Another goal for Oli. That's 8 straight games now that Oli has gotten at least a goal. That's his second in this game alone.
Quick shout out to production. That camera shot was awesome.
Absolutely.
It's a double for Alpha! Vitality back at it again. This one off the kickoff. You see Radosin, Gray 50, and Alpha. Of course, he's going to be able to line that up. My boy just not back in time.
And so he almost got to the 50. Just didn't quite have it, and that's the danger. You can never sleep on this Vitality team. Radosin kicks this one close. Oli, not a solid touch for him. And left down. Solary have to get out on defense. K-Dop trying to push the nose a little bit farther forward. Vitality, K-Dop sweeps around in the box there. They are looking for those demos consistently. Oli actually takes out a player here. K-Dop forces Solary back to their own corner. It's going to nullify a lot of the effect that demo had. You see Alpha able to get back to that 50. K-Dop throws it right back to him, but some of these challenges are difficult. Solary get back down the field.
Radosin playing it close. These have been pretty even, I say, so far in terms of the way both these teams are playing. They've been able to kind of match each other. It's just back and forth. Every time one team makes a change, the other one adapts to it. And they've been in this swing, this even flow. Another save comes out. Mike Boy blocks Alpha's shot, and it's a minute remaining. And Vitality trying to force the issue. Winner puts the series on match point.
Nice catch from Alpha, but he's got 2 defenders to beat. Forces the 50 against the corner. And a good touch to get the ball out by Oli. Again, turns right back. You get 2 consecutive touches from Solary, and then a grab and steal from Vitality. 2 touches back to the corner. And Solary are in this defensive rhythm again. Alpha takes it back to his own half. Full tank. Reset. No 50, but he bumps Oli out. Actually deletes Oli off the play. Radosin keeps it high. Lets him get to the next touch. Ooh, a little more patient. Solary were in front of the net. Oli's going to push this one out. Vitality still hunting at the end of regulation. Here they come again. All the midfield. They're going to drop it back down.
The
best touch in front. Radosin's going to make it work. Pass back over to K-Dop. Oli's up for this. He's got the clear, but Vitality's still in control. Alpha on the side wall. What's he got in the tank? Well, nothing. Mike Boy gets in the way and says enough of that. The bounce, we're going to overtime.
You saw Radosin get a little scared there. He saw that ball bounce up. He immediatally backflipped like, wait. I thought we were in overtime.
Everyone sees the bounce, the eyes widen.
There's a demo. Oli, low shot, and it's in! It's a hat trick for Oli. It's also 3 games for Solary as they put the series on match point.
He's always hungry. He's always eating, and Oli again. He takes Solary to match point on Wasteland. What a series so far. Vitality had chances. They had control. They had everything that you would want out of an offensive push from them. But then when it came to the quality shots on net, at the end of that game, they never came. Alpha had 5 shots. K-Dop had 2. That was it. And how many of those were really quality against Solary in that final minute, Daz? Like, that was really, I felt like their best chance when they had that control.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about all these things Vitality have. I'll tell you what they don't have. Oli. Because if you look at the games that Solary has stepped up in, it's mainly been Oli who's been kind of leading that charge scoring-wise. I mean, in Game 2, he scored the only goal, I believe, on Aquadome, where he got to play past the entire Vitality defense. And then even now, he's able to, again, get this team on the board, get that hat trick. Of course, he's been set up really well by Thor and My Boy, been kind of dictating the pace. For them, it's like we don't need to score. As long as we got somebody who's putting the ball into the back of the net when we create space, that's exactly what we need. And if that's the play style for Solary, I mean, hey, you can't fault them for that. It's been effective here against Vitality.
We're on Neo Tokyo, and you know what that means. One team in particular could be going home. That one pushed up. Vitality, no matter what, this has been a great improvement over the course of the season, considering where they were in the fall. They made this change with Radosin, and you got immediate results. That doesn't happen with every team.
Yeah.
Some teams need some time in the lab before a roster change really starts to develop fruit. But Radosin has, he's developed his fruits a little earlier. And Vitality, no matter what the result is here, I think it's great for them to build off of heading into the rest of the spring split.
Yeah, I agree. For me, Vitality, this seems like the start of the resurgence for this team. As again, you see it, right? Again, people were talking about, hey, okay, what does Radosin look like on this team? Well, now you have that. You have this image here. Now it's about consistency over the course of the split for them at this point, but it's a great start. Same can be said though for Solary here. Both teams playing excellent Rocket League over the course of this event.
I mean, Solary's story is absolutely insane. 3 grinders, and these 3 players have known each other for a very long time. And they've been playing games together for years. Like, they would queue up Rocket League all the time. You ask, like, oh, who do you play duos with? You ask, though, he's like, oh, yeah, I only really play with, like, Oli or Mike Boy. You know, it's just, and now they finally get together on a team, and look at them. I mean, the Dutchmen have absolutely impressed in this regional. It's a fun story in Solary, and they're now in position to take down Team Vitality and get a top 3 placement in the first regional of their time as a team. Ooh. Mike Boy, oh, no shot on target, but K-Dop's got a lot of time here. Pass in front to Alpha, and that one's gonna go in.
Oh boy, and you see Vitality starting to pick apart the defense once Oli ended up missing that touch. K-Dop had time, able to set up the pass, and Alpha there quickly to send it in for Team Vitality. Vitality
not gonna go down without a fight. There's a lot of pressure as well on their end that they were able to thwart from Solary, who had got 3 shots out in about the first minute. All 3 of them saved. Oli underneath on the reset. Oli again! His 4th goal in 3 games. His 9th goal in 9 games. This man cannot stop.
Are you kidding me? Gets the flip, dodges forward, still keeps the ball close, gets the flip reset in. This kid is a monster. Oli is popping off this event. He's a leading goal scorer in total goals. He's got 33 goals total and goals per game with a 1.25. Oh my gosh.
You just keep rattling them off, Daz. It keeps getting more impressive the longer you go. Oli's been insane. Alpha trying to dive in front, and Radosin trying to get set back up. Vitality, they try to build momentum. And Solary, well, here's another one. Oh, pass on the crossbar. Oh, we got it. There was like none of the ball left.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not know what you said. So much pressure though. Vitality still knocking in as they try to get through this, and you gotta think for Vitality, a quick response here is big. Both teams again speeding things up after the goals have been scored. Mike Boy got the bump. Toodaloo Radosin always trying to 50 in front. There's Stowe. Shot. It's good. Stowe gets on the scoreboard and a big time for Solary.
It's gritty. It's dirty. It's Oli. He blows through K-Dop. Phil comes in like a rocket to get that shot. Nobody can challenge him on the play. Solary take the lead, and now in position again. Vitality on ice with 2 minutes to go. Goals have been a premium in this series. Here comes Oli, slipping across. Big demo, forces 2 in front. Vitality, they bump into each other. Though pops it up. Mike Boy jumps again. Here he comes, taken away by Alpha. Able to push that ball back over to the corner. Vitality just survive on defense. You're gonna have to find a way to build pressure now. Oli does not care. The machine keeps on grinding, and he's picking up pieces for the scrapyard. Mike Boy gets in front of this one, and Radosin takes it away, but no, actually loses the 50. Back over to Alpha, got it against Oli, and now Vitality have a chance to get set up.
Solary have to be careful. They got a lot of momentum, but all it takes is one counterattack, and Vitality are in this. Again, still looking to force that game 7 is Oli. Alpha, see ya later! 1-2 to the low. It's a 2-goal lead for Solary.
Somebody call the mechanic. I don't want to see that, Bill. Alpha, see you later. Oh my gosh.
They're coming, Moist. 123 left.
Watch out.
And Solary are not looking at Champions Field. It's another one in the top left corner for Tho. 3-goal lead now. Vitality crashed the net. They literally sent everybody, and that's why it's so open for Tho.
That lob, perfect. Launched like a trebuchet. Perfect placement. Hits its target. A minute 17, and you're thinking, it's donezo for Vitality. 3 goals. We always talk about how 3 goals is the threshold. Only wanted a 4-goal threshold there. With a minute left, I mean, this ain't 1v1. You ain't gonna come back 3 goals, 1 minute left, right? That'd be an insane comeback. Vitality certainly have the time. It would take some heroic efforts, and Solary, I mean, Solary we haven't seen in the last like 4 minutes or so. What a game for Solary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at that. It's a free ball for Alpha. He's not hitting that. The clock's ticking down. And with this clear out, 3 goals in 30 seconds is just not happening. Solary aren't letting that in. Pressure here. All you gotta do is just kind of play the 50s. It was really well done, I'd say, for Vitality up to this point. You know, the series was back and forth. They were trading blows. And Solary, I mean, once they kind of figured things out, again, you talk about the tactical timeout. Once that kind of came in, they definitely, it felt like they turned things around, so to speak. And now they are running with all cylinders green, okay? Final few seconds, clock's ticking down, and Solary are going to move on to the lower bracket finals. They eliminate Team Vitality in the semis.